All right, g'day and welcome. Okay, got the GoPro going. Oh, forgot. Sorry, I got the wind reduction on, so I don't know if the audio is going to be the best, but we're going to work with what we got. It's got my pucks. Going to get my hot water going. Going to grab an assessment of pucks and drop them in there. Then, and grab another assessment of pucks, drop them there. Very scientifical. Something like that. I bought this a few years back and there's a bullet casing in there. What the hell? I don't think I was shooting at my pucks or anything. It could have happened. Could have happened. Hot. My fingers are burning. I'm good. I'm tough. I'll take it. I have no idea what I'm going to plant yet, but let those soak a bit. You got to kind of work a little bit fast with those, but here's my plantage stuff. There's going to be a lot of beans and hot peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that. Can't wait. My garden is slowly starting. I know the windows all fogged up and stuff like that, but you can sort of see the raised beds out there. I got to. They're kind of in Lake Superior right now, so. But yeah, that's where I'm going to grow some stuff. Now the trick with these guys is that not everything works with them. That you got to deal with that. Maybe I put too many in there at once, but my normal pail, I don't know what I did with it. Well, I know it's full of fishing lures. That's the problem. So, but these things, they'll start to expand and take on the water. And as they do, I just put them in here. And then once I got this filled up, I think it holds 78. Don't quote me on that, whatever. I had a nice little small one, a little quarter one. I have no idea where it went. My hunch is that it's stuck in my trailer. You see there, these pucks are now getting nice and fat and juicy. Nice and fat and juicy. And don't wait till they explode. Get them out of there a little bit before that. So these are just about, some of them are just about ready. Like that one is ready, so I can go like that. You want them so that they've taken on enough water that you can plant your seeds, and you also want them. Oh, let's see, that one's going to explode. So now you put them in. It doesn't take long. You got to kind of work kind of quick, as you can see here. Like this one's about to explode. Might just have to reach in and grab a handful of burning hot. No, that one can go a little bit longer. But you can see how they suck up the water pretty quick. It doesn't take long. I'll let that one go a little bit longer. And row number 2. Then when you're planting them, be sure to put a map of what you planted, or else you end up like me every year. And what did I plant again? I'll remember. No, you won't. You will not remember. You didn't remember last year. You didn't remember the year before. You didn't remember the year before that, the year before that, or the year before that. So in other words, mark what you got in there, where everything is. Now, if you let them expand too much, they'll just fall apart on you. But the idea here is pretty simple. I think you guys get the idea. So I'll take that one's about exploded. And the water after, I just throw it out outside. I mean, there's no use putting that down to drink. It's just peat pellets. You can buy them in batches of 5. You can buy them in batches of 1,000,000 or 1,000. I think it was $80 for 1,000. 80, $100, whatever it was they sold it to me for. And most of them are going to fail on you. Just so you know, the peat pucks, I know some people are the purists out there like, never use peat pucks for anything. They're no good. They're actually good for transitioning green thumbs, as we'll call us. In other words, greenhorns, newbies, yeah, foobars, mess ups, have no clue what they're doing kind of gardeners. You know, like me. Then we do that. Not too much. Get a little bit more in there. Go batch them too. Now the water doesn't have to be scalding hot, but it has to be hot enough to obviously expand the peat pellet puck, because it goes from that flat little thing in there to these fat little guys here. And again, all I'll do is I'll just kind of guesstimate how many per handful, and then when I'm done, make sure you put them the right side up, or else you'll end up you'll have to poke a hole in the bottom. But they kind of have a pre-poked hole in them, so there we go. So like that one will be easy to plant. Now the other thing you want to make sure is that you don't put the seeds in it till it cools down a little bit. So that's phase 1. So I did pretty good. That was 3 handfuls, and I was just about right When I get down near the end, that's when I start counting out, okay, well, what do I need? So, plop. Make sure everything gets nice and soaked. Let it suck up that water again. And the other thing you're going to do, and I'll show you when I'm done, but the other thing you're going to do is basically, in a nutshell, is you put your seeds in, you're going to put your cover on, and then for about the first week, you're going to put it somewhere, even like under a sink or somewhere dark, so that's not going to get light. It also depends how close you are to growing season. You don't want the things to sprout too fast, but you also don't, you don't want little twigs in there that don't take you. Most of the time you'll do okay. It's just sometimes there's a little bit of a learning curve for these things. And what I found, what works for me is just do this, soak them in, put the seeds in. That's really all you can do anyway. And then just wait about a week with them, you know, in the cold storage where there's no sunlight or nothing like that. But it's humid enough warm and humid enough for them. Obviously, the humidity will be held in by this. And then it's warm enough for them to sprout up at a rate that, you know, they can grow thick enough, not just little thin twigs, and then they just, you know, they die, right? Because if they come up too fast, sometimes they die. The other option is direct sunlight. Just put them in the peat pellets, put them right into the ground, whatever. If you got area to do that. Here in Canada, we got to deal with things called frost. And if you got to deal with frost, trust me, you ain't going to be throwing too much into the ground too early. I mean, we'll be lucky if we get any gardens in my area. I mean, it's April and there's still tons of snow everywhere. So, yeah, we got to be, you know, definitely going to be covering our gardens at night. There's no doubt about that. And I wish I could plant cows, but I can't. Yeah, I think that one's pretty close. Go with that. And again, you want them fat enough so that they open up. Like that one, that's good and open. And then, yeah. So you got to kind of work fairly fast. So do what you can manage at a time. If not, like I say, they'll just explode on you. And again, hot water doesn't have to, the hotter water makes them expand faster, but it doesn't have to be scalding hot. You don't have to boil a kettle or anything like that. Like that's just a little on the extreme side. You know, you're taking it to another level that you don't need to. So just warm enough. But the idea behind the warm water is that it will retain the warmth, so that won't shock the seed as much. If it's too hot, then yeah, it'll shock the seed and kill the seed. And then you will not get a garden. You will just have a dead peat puck. Now, let's say your peat puck doesn't take. Keep the peat puck, throw it in your garden. Why? Because there's nutrients in these things too, so, you know, don't waste it. You know, just because it didn't take. One problem that might arise from that is you may end up with vegetables that just bloomed a little bit later, and it's like, okay, now what's in there? I don't know. It's just a plant of something is growing from a peat puck just growing straight out. And I've had that happen to me a few times, and it's kind of funny. You know, it's just funny. So that's not too bad. So I'll take another, 5 or so. I'll let these two go a little bit more. And then, yeah, just about right. Just about right. So there's one there, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, we can look at our peat pucks. We take our peat pucks, carefully place them in the water. That was strategically dropped. Don't need to put much more water here, but also, obviously, you don't want to make too much mess, so just like that. The idea is to get the whole thing, because if you leave them just floating, what happens is the tops don't get wet, and then they don't open up. You be quiet, Gazoo. Wherever you are, I heard you. Oh, it was Missy. Sorry. I yelled at the wrong cat. My bad. My bad. You want back outside? In and out, in and out. But anyway, so this is phase 1. I'll let those guys go, and then we'll go through my seeds.